Hey, welcome to This Must Be the Place. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about Dayton's Bluff neighborhood in Minnesota.
St. Paul, Minnesota. You were technically correct.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Zestimates, not to be confused with the Zesty Mints that you get at some fine Italian eateries. Yep. And we got a voicemail. We got a voicemail that we're going to play, and it's a big one.
It's a big one.
It's a big endorsement.
Yeah.
So, join us.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the
Hello,
place.
and welcome to This Must Be the Place, the only Twin Cities real estate and real estate adjacent podcast, where one of the hosts is very excited for the current president's new self-branded basement technology product. You know what it's called?
This is the punchline?
Trump sump pumps.
Trump pumps.
They're made of pure gold.
Okay.
They cost $25,000.
All right, and
they break almost immediately.
I was going to say, and they never work.
And they never work. Trump, you know where you can get Trump sump pumps? Trump sump pump dump.
You really go. You go. A lot of the rhyming is the joke today, huh? Trump sump pump dump.
Trump sump pump dump. You need a gimmick, Casey, in life.
Get what you want. A Trump sump pump dump.
Yep. I thought of that on the way over here today.
Yeah, that was.
The well had run dry.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
panicking.
Yeah, maybe that's because you had a working sump pump in your well, and not a Trump sump pump.
That's
and the
right.
well would never run dry
right.
if you had a Trump sump pump from the sump pump.
Your basement would be flooded.
Yeah, it's flooded with big things, beautiful things, all the things, wonderful things.
We got to do Trump impressions. I don't know how to do it.
I'm
We
not.
gotta work on
No,
it.
I'm not good at that.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
I'm not good at that.
Anyway.
I'll work on it.
Trump sump pump dump is the place to go get your awful, expensive.
Where is that located? Just northwest of St. Cloud?
That's in Donaldsonville.
Donaldsonville. I don't think there is a Donaldsonville in Minnesota.
Look it up, bro.
I will.
What are we going to talk about first today?
Well, I would love to start with a voicemail. We got a rather significant endorsement this week.
Yeah.
And it came as a complete surprise. I was just checking the voicemail for, our voicemail line for the studio is also, or for the podcast is also our team voicemail.
Golden Shields.
Yeah, Golden
612-234.
1889. Yeah. So because we're on a team now, I check that every day and see who's leaving messages, see what people need. And to my surprise, we got a huge voicemail.
It's a bombshell. Like it's gonna do big things for us in the podcast.
Should we just play it?
I think we should just play it. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is the Pope calling from the New Vatican in the top floor of the Sears Tower. Pope Big Shoulders just calling to say, hey guys, first American Pope, favorite Twin Cities real estate adjacent podcast. Yeah, you know who it is, boys. It's you guys. Thanks a lot for your support. Blessings and benedictions and whatnot.
Unbelievable.
That is a big one. I mean, with the conclave just happening, the Pope just being chosen, he's an American Pope. He happens to be from Chicago.
A lot of Catholics in St. Paul.
Sounds a little bit like Tommy Callahan from Callahan Auto Parts in Tommy
Sounds
Boy.
like Dan Aykroyd.
Sounds like Dan Aykroyd.
At the end of that movie, yes.
Yeah. Very clearly a legitimate voicemail from the Pope, who's from Chicago.
Took time out of his busy day. These days, that man, I mean, I can't imagine many more busy people.
I didn't know that the new Papal Palace was going to be the new Vatican was going to be in the top of the Sears Tower. Is it called the Sears Tower anymore?
No,
I think he might be rewinding that back to the golden age of Chicago.
Yeah, like the '85 Bears, right?
Yeah. So I was pretty psyched to hear that.
Hopefully it does good things for him to be associated with us, and it does good things for us to be associated, with that endorsement. Like, it feels like a win-win to me, man.
I agree. Thank you. I want to call him Pope Benedict, but it's not. Thank you, Pope Leo, for calling in. And we from the bottom of our hearts here at This Must Be the Place, we wish you a healthy and successful term.
Papacy.
Papacy. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. It was unnecessary. You didn't need to do it, but we're glad you did, and
we're rooting for you.
Break a leg out there.
Yeah. You want to talk about Zesty Mints, or you want to go into?
No, let's talk about Zesty Mints.
Okay.
We don't have to spend too long talking about it.
I don't want to spend too long talking about it.
No, neither do I. But
is there an Altoid flavor you prefer? Do you like the original, or do you like the you like the red or the blue case?
I like the teal. It's kind of like light blue, sky blue,
that's
sea
like
blue.
the original.
No, the original is red and white.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
I like the blue one too. Then.
Yeah. Me too.
Maybe I just eat that so much. I think it's the original. Or when I eat it.
I'm not a gum chewer. Are you a gum chewer?
If I have gum available, I'll chew it. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's.
I'm not a gum chewer.
No, you don't go out of your way to buy it.
No.
I like there's a lot of good gum out there. Trident Orange is like a minty orange. It's pretty good.
When I was a kid, my mother wouldn't allow gum because this is what she said. Andrew, I don't believe in it. I'm not. That is a true story.
Like it doesn't exist. Like if you showed her a piece of gum, she'd be like,
These were my questions in high school.
I don't believe in it.
These were my questions in high school, and she would just say, "I just don't believe in it."
It doesn't believe in it as a breath neutralizing odor thing.
I don't know. And
as a satisfaction,
full
for
circle
like
irony,
an itch that needed to be scratched.
As I got older, she started chewing gum. So
did you ever throw it back in her face? Believe in it, fucking now, Mom.
You got to pick your battles, man. And I just let that one go.
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
Yeah,
I wonder how many people in the world don't believe in gum.
That's what I would always say. I'm like, it exists. It's not for you to believe in or not.
It's a thing.
But maybe we'll get her on the pod someday so she can clarify what she meant by that.
Andy's mom discusses her ever-changing stance
the
on
isms
gum.
of gum.
That's good, man. If there's anything to say about why you don't like gum, that's pretty much the way to go.
Or anything for that matter. Yeah,
it's just any argument.
Yeah, it's just catches you off guard so much that you're like, all right.
Yeah. All right. So Zestimates, the real Zestimate.
The real Zestimate. What is that? What does that refer, sir?
If you're unfamiliar, you've been living in a cave and don't know what the internet is. But Zillow, the 500-pound gorilla in our industry besides NAR and the MLS. Zillow.
You can also call it the fart in the elevator.
Yeah.
Something that's there that you don't really talk about too much as realtors.
Zillow is where I'd guess 80 to 90% of people go to get their house. You're looking for a house, you go online, you type in an address, Zillow is going to be first that pops up. You got an app on your phone, it's Zillow.
Yeah. You've got Trulia, you've got homes.com, you've got realtor.com, that kind of stuff.
Yep. So they take from the MLS and put all the housing info on there, but they also have an AVM,
automated valuation model, I believe is what that stands for.
And so what they do is they tell you what they think your house is worth, right?
Or the house you're shopping for, whatever.
Yes. The problem is...
And hold on, before you go any further, we're not here to vilify Zillow. Use as buyers and sellers, use Zillow.
It's a great tool.
Sure, it's a great tool, yeah.
You can draw little circles around where you want to search and get a good comparison stuff.
Yes. But they have this, go ahead, they have this thing called...
So they have the AVM, which
which they call the Zestimate.
Yeah, which many other, they branded it well.
They did.
Right? So, because every program has a Zestimate, an AVM, right?
Yes.
So when you sign a listing agreement with us, one of the things in the contract that says, do you want to use AVM, right? So if we think your house is not gonna, you want to price your house at $600,000 and we think it's worth $4 million, chances are we might not encourage you to check that box, because other people are going to then see the AVM models that show you're priced well above what the value of your house is. It's a good indicator of a really wide spectrum of what your house is worth. But Zillow doesn't know your kitchen is from 1982. I do, as a listing agent.
That's right.
Right?
That's
Zillow
right.
doesn't know that you took 2 of the bathrooms out to build a crafting room.
Do you know what else Zillow does?
What?
Part of the reason I wanted to bring this up, they use active listings as part of their AVM. Whereas Casey and myself and other realtors, good realtors, you don't use active listings to help value a home, because it could sell for way more, it could sell for way less, we don't know. So we want to concentrate on listings that have been sold.
Yep. You do. So caveat to that, rather than using in addition to using sold.
Yes.
It's nice to see what your competition is on the market.
No doubt.
Right? So using actives within your parameter or within your area can help inform maybe where you want to price your house in relationship to really what we hone down on the value is. We generally give you a range.
The three $500,000 homes in Highland Park that we mentioned, you and I experienced 2 weeks ago.
Perfect example,
yes.
Right? So I won't say where the houses were, but they were all within 3 blocks of one another.
Yep.
2 of them were priced at $499.
Yep.
And the third one was priced at
$529.
$529. Yeah.
Yeah.
And which one do you think sat on the market for a week? Yeah, the one that was within the 3 block radius, all story and a half.
All similar size.
All similar size, all similar style.
Similar updates.
Yeah, right? So when pricing that, you're going to look at what else is on the market, and you're going to say, hey, there's 2 other competing homes, and we don't have a brand new, you know what I mean, like state-of-the-art chef's kitchen, or we didn't just get a new roof on it or something.
Right.
So as a realtor, we're going to inform, like, if you want this thing to sell, we have to be priced with what is being represented in the market, or otherwise it's going to sit. And wouldn't you know it, a week later, price drops to $499.9.
Yeah. Yep.
And sold.
Sold, yep.
Yep. I'm running into a similar thing in Como Park. And I hope it's a beautiful house. It's a little bit too high. Didn't take into account the actives on the market.
Yes. Yep. So these are all tools in your toolbox, whether you're a homeowner, a home buyer, a realtor, a lender, really, anything. These are, the Zestimate and Zillow and these websites are great. They're just tools in your toolbox.
Yep. They can really skew a homeowner's perception of what they think their house is worth.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you walk into a listing presentation and as a homeowner, you have a clear idea of what your house is worth based off of your love for your house and what a Zestimate says, not what the market's telling you, not the facts, data, trends,
yes,
all that stuff. You could be in for a rough discussion or an eye-opening discussion, or getting your feelings hurt, or pricing your house too high and having it sit on the market if you use that Zestimate as...
Right.
And I've seen it skew... I'll pose this as a question to you.
Yeah.
Have you seen Zestimate skew to one side versus another more often than not? Like lower than market value versus higher than market value?
Not consistently. I feel like
they can be all over the place.
They can be all over the place.
Yeah.
I see a lot of times that they're way too low because there's been finished square footage added.
Or they don't take into account updates.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they don't take into account updates. Right. Like you said with the kitchen thing, like they just don't know necessarily. Like they're not, I don't think they're combing county records to look
For
up
permits.
permits, and not only that, what materials were used.
Pro tip, you can claim your house on Zillow. So you can go to Zillow and claim the house that you own, right? And you can update the profile, right? So my house in particular, I did just that. Like when we did
Interesting.
work, I was like, we totally renovated, did this, that, the other, and I watched my Zestimate jump by a ton because you can update the info on your house to keep it current, which is going to give that AVM a better idea
More
of
accurate.
what your house is really worth. And I think a lot of homeowners don't necessarily know that because, you know, they just don't know that you can go online and set up an account and claim that home as yours. So that's a good idea if you really want that Zestimate to be legit and you've done work on your house. Claim your house, update the information, see what it tells you. But also, you know, I did a video on this week. Also, interview listing agents and ask specific questions towards what the value of your house is,
Right.
And why.
With supported evidence.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
100%.
yep. So take an Altoid, surf the internet, get a Zesty Mint.
And now, This Must Be the Place presents Neighborhood Watch.
Trump sump pump dump. I thought that was pretty good. Literally did just come up with that on the way here.
We going to Mervin's Bluff today?
We are going to Carson Peary Scott Bluff.
Are we going to Coles Bluff?
Marshall Bluff. We're getting closer there.
Target Bluff.
We are going to Dayton's Bluff.
Dayton's Bluff, not Sears Bluff.
No.
Not Nordstrom's Bluff.
Montgomery Ward's Bluff. We're
Bloomington
going to do next week.
Avenue on... I ran. It's had to stop
Dayton's
somewhere.
Bluff, not affiliated with the department store or the famous
Family.
current Dayton's.
They're not
family.
related.
They're not related.
Althesia Dayton is not related to
Well, his name is Lyman Dayton.
Lyman. That's right.
Lyman, Lyman.
Yeah.
So Dayton's Bluff. What you know about Dayton's Bluff?
I know it's
You know it's
on the east side of St. Paul.
It is.
I don't think of it as the High Bridge. We'll call it the 7th Street Bridge. It's not 7th Street. I don't know what the bridge is called.
Wabasha?
No, they tore it down. It's being rebuilt right now.
Oh.
But it's a high bridge, and it goes from like the depot area of St. Paul on Shepherd Road, sort of all the way up the bluff. Dayton's Bluff is on the left side. If you're going, all right, we'll say it's on the east side of 94, the northeast side of 94, because 94 turns and swerves through that area.
Yeah. I always just think of it like if you're going up 35E through St. Paul, it goes down to 45 miles an hour, right? As you cross the Minnesota River from like Lilydale, Mendota Heights into St. Paul. And then it stays 45 miles an hour until you get into downtown St. Paul. And then once you get through downtown St. Paul,
That's
turns
94.
back into highway speeds, and then you can either
That's 94.
go left onto 35 or right onto 94. Then you're in Dayton's Bluff right there.
You got to be on 94 though.
Well, right, but you veer right east onto 94, and then that's Dayton's Bluff up in the bluffs.
Strip club
that make
used to be
sense?
up there.
Seriously?
Not a strip club, the strip club.
Oh,
The restaurant.
That was in Dayton's
was
Bluff?
amazing.
I never went.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
That had like a 7-year run of being like a legendary destination.
Yeah, it was great.
Steakhouse.
It was a great steakhouse.
Yeah. That was a Tim Niver joint, right?
Yeah. Yep. Town Talk guy? No, it was whoever owned the Town Talk.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. You're right. Maybe it wasn't Tim Niver.
I think they own Moochie's now.
Yeah, that's Tim Niver.
Oh, well, then it's Tim Niver.
Cleared that up.
Not MacGyver. Tim Niver.
That's right.
Okay. Dayton's Bluff. Yeah, it's on the left side of 94 when you're headed out of town. That's how I know it.
When you're on your way to Wisconsin,
Yep, it's on
look
the
left and up.
East side of St. Paul.
Yep.
And it is sort of the quiet neighborhood to live, whereas like Phelan and along Phelan Boulevard and where like Tongue in Cheek is, and East Street Bar and Cook St. Paul used to be like, that's where you go for like restaurants and cool stuff.
Yeah.
But Dayton Bluff is like right next to that neighborhood, a little bit south of that neighborhood.
Yep. Where is that? Is Brunson's Pub in Payne Phelan?
I don't think I know what Brunson's Pub is.
Okay. I've been there once. It's real good.
Yeah. Dayton's Bluff is super affordable neighborhood on the east side of St. Paul.
What does it look
with
like
beautiful views
on a map?
of downtown.
If you looked at the neighborhood on a map, what does it look like? I'll tell you what it looks like.
Is this Andy describes what Casey's hands are doing?
Yes. It looks like the Arizona Cardinals logo on the football helmet looking west.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, pull that shit up, bro. See?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It looks like an Oriole to me. A west-facing Oriole.
A west-facing Arizona Cardinal or Oriole.
I don't know if I would have come up with that. It looks like if you took Minnesota and squashed it really hard.
Yeah.
And then added some weird stuff.
But it's got
out
all
west.
these weird, like a lot of neighborhoods are very easily distinguishable because they're boxes or rectangles or something similar. Dayton's Bluff is all over the place with its borders, but it's right in between the Sunray Battle Creek area, which is, I believe, right to its southeast.
Mm-hmm.
It's right next. It's just northeast of West Side, which we've covered before, and then it's got Payne Phelan right above it.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah. Goes up to Phelan Boulevard, which is the separating line.
What do you know about median home price in Dayton's Bluff?
It's a lot lower than the rest of the city's metro.
I put it on the Google Doc, but you got your data.
Yeah. We're talking right now, currently 209. We'll call it $210,000.
See, I have 230,000. Are we looking at different metrics?
I'm looking at the monthly 3-year, all prices, all range. You're doing single family only.
No.
Your metrics are always a little bit wrong.
Maybe I didn't do monthly. What do I click on?
You leave it where it is. That's the rolling 3 month.
That's what I did. 230?
225.
Okay.
Yeah, I tend to zoom in monthly because, as we know, at this point in the summer, I guess we're getting to summer.
Yeah, we are.
Housing prices really start to fluctuate month to month based on, seemingly based on weather. If like homes in certain areas don't have a lot of central air conditioning in their window units, I feel like prices drop in the summertime versus the ones that do have central air.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have it at around 200. If we go single family home only,
yes,
I have it at $219,000. And
so
the Twin
super
Cities
affordable.
average is $440.
Super affordable.
Yes. Yep. Smaller homes. Well, no, not really. There's a lot of big old homes there.
Yeah, there's a lot of huge, similar to Summit and Stillwater. There's a lot of those Italianate,
Yep.
Queen Anne, Victoria style, big grand homes in Dayton's Bluff, but those mostly are looking over
on the bluff.
Are on the bluff, right?
Yeah. Because Dayton's Bluff, like what people need to understand about Dayton's Bluff is like it's up a hill. So when you have really great views of the Mississippi and the Minnesota River Valley because they kind of come together at that point.
And downtown.
So it's kind of like the West Side, but on the East Side. Like we call St. Paul the West Side. They very easily could have just named that neighborhood the East Side, except Greater East Side is obviously much bigger.
You're right. That would make sense.
$181 a square foot. So even price per square foot, super reasonable. Things on the market are as low as the Twin Cities average right now. So it's only houses are generally on average spending 13 days on market, which is right in line for the average. And the percent of original list price is
100?
You guessed it, right at the Twin Cities average of 100.
Yeah.
So it's mimicking the rest of the 7-county metro market really well. It's more affordable.
Yeah, and most of the homes are kind of those like smaller bungalowy, craftsman-y, turn of the century, early 1900s homes.
Yep.
And that is where kind of the price that we're talking about lies, not the big, huge ones.
And I like, we'll let you get into the history and all that other stuff, but I like the Dayton's Bluff area for a couple reasons. Sometimes for me, because I'm in Minneapolis a lot and I enjoy like both parts of the cities. Sometimes when you get too far west, you don't really want to go to St. Paul. And sometimes when you get too far east, you don't really want to go to Minneapolis.
Or like me, I live in southeast Minneapolis, almost the furthest southeast you can get. Going to northeast is like a chore.
Yeah, so that's
same thing.
That's how I feel sometimes about the east side. There are a lot of really great neighborhoods on the east side.
Yeah.
But for me, because I like both cities, sometimes that can feel isolated from Minneapolis. It feels like a trip to get to Minneapolis.
Totally.
If you're living way out on the Oakdale border of the greater east side.
Right.
So Dayton's Bluff kind of has a nice middle ground standpoint. Like it's not, you're not in the midway, so it's not immediately accessible, but you can hop on 94 super quick and you can be in Minneapolis pretty quickly. You can be in like the Highland South Metro area pretty quickly, or you can get out to the east side,
go
the
to Hudson,
Stillwater,
get
the
your
Woodbury's, the
fireworks.
Hudsons. Yeah. So it does have some convenience to it for that from that standpoint, which I really like in terms of exploring the city as a whole. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I wanted to do Dayton's Bluff neighborhood because I spent some time there recently with a buyer and who ended up putting an offer on a home, and we are under contract now. We had the inspection yesterday.
How'd it go?
Went good.
Who inspected it?
Heartland Inspections, not DC
Not
though.
DC.
I told them to request DC, but we had Seth.
Seth
is great. He's
I
a good
mean,
dude.
everybody that I've had from Heartland has been great.
Yeah,
Throw
Seth
that
is
out.
great. Shout out Seth.
Yep.
But so I've spent some time in Dayton's Bluff, so I wanted to talk about it. And then, as I always do, I just kind of geeked out on some of the history. And then actually, I wanted to first talk about Indian Mounds Regional Park, which is right there, which is it's on the National Register of Historic Places in the United States.
Yeah.
So I went and hung out there yesterday. It's super cool, man. Like
We have a lot of mounds in Minnesota.
the city mound?
Mound. Mounds View.
Dude.
Indian mounds.
Yeah.
Lots of mounds.
Yeah. Maybe they're all, well, okay, so looking into this,
Yeah. Tell us.
so there's some mounds in Indian Mounds Regional Park. Maybe they want to update the name a little bit, but that's still what it's called for whatever reason.
Indigenous peoples
Yeah.
pumps.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's not as
IPH.
catchy. Yeah. It's okay.
Kids, get in the car, we're going to IPH.
Yeah.
But there are
That's
these.
not IHP. Isn't that? No, sorry. IHOP. It'd be
IHOP.
Yeah, yes.
It's close.
Yeah.
But this park was a sacred site, and it was a place of burial,
Yeah.
like between 1,000 and 2,500 years ago. Like this
You know what
was.
it makes me think of?
What's that?
You don't want to go up in them hills.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, come on, man. Didn't you ever see Pet Cemetery?
Oh yeah, I actually
Don't
saw
want to
it.
go up in them hills.
Is that the judge from My Cousin Vinny?
Yeah, that's
right?
Herman Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great role for him.
I'm sorry,
Because that was built on an Indian burial. But the Pet Cemetery was built on an Indian sacred Indian burial ground.
That's right. I watched it recently for the first time, actually.
And I should amend the way I talk about it because I talk about it in the film, a sacred Native American burial ground.
Yes, and that's what this is. And they would. There's these mounds there that are there to this day that are
14 of them, right?
there's two main ones.
Okay.
There used to be dozens and dozens and dozens.
Okay.
But obviously colonizers going to colonize and they're going to build highways and make room for housing. So they basically tore a bunch of these mounds down.
Okay.
But in the park right now, there's two notable ones, and there's fencing around it, and it says on signs, "This is a cemetery." So the mounds would range anywhere from like 2 feet to 30 feet, but these ones are probably like.
I'm gonna put some photos up. I'll put some photos.
Yeah. I took some photos too, and I sent them to you. So
Cool.
I think these ones are probably about 15 feet high, and there's these. Yeah, those are them. They're these big mounds, and they would bury prominent people within their immediate culture in those mounds. It's not like a ton of bodies in there.
I'm glad they fenced these off.
Yeah.
You know, to treat it with the respect.
Yeah, exactly.
It deserves. And there really are some amazing views of the city from over there.
Dude, the views are so great. But these mounds, again, keep in mind, this was like 1,000 to 2,500 years ago. So this is almost like even pre what we think of as like the Dakotas who were there prior to the colonizers getting there.
Pre-Jesus.
Pre-Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But
sorry.
Apparently these mounds.
The Pope might disagree.
Oh man!
Hopefully
we're gonna have to redact
Leo.
that.
We're just trying to keep it factual.
But these mounds would follow lunar alignments, sunrise, sunset patterns, seasonal patterns, etc. So there was a method to the madness of these mounds.
Sure.
They look over the bluff. They look onto the confluence of the Minnesota and Mississippi rivers. In many of these mounds that they actually demolished, unfortunately, but they found tombs. They put these prominent figures in tombs made of limestone, made of logs, and they would find remains, and they would find things like bear teeth, copper ornaments, and mussel shells. They were doing some moule frites. But they did find mussel shells.
So that leads me to talk about. I called it Kaposia because I'm fancy, but we can go with Kaposia.
Kaposia.
Okay, which was like a sort of an ancient, I don't know what we want to call it, a city or a site or a town or whatever for natives who first lived on the land.
Correct.
And this burial site was just upriver from where that first city of Kaposia was located.
And Kaposia Park is now a disc golf course.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like a legendary. I used to throw discs.
Is that what you
in college? Yeah.
Did you have like different, like a driver and a putter and a?
Oh yeah. And Kaposia is like where they would have like national tournaments.
And by throw discs, did you mean just smoke a lot of weed and have beers in your backpack and run around with friends?
Now, Casey, I have relatives that listen to this.
Yeah.
And
they don't know that you smoked weed when you were younger?
I did nothing of the sort.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Never touch the stuff.
Okay. Good. It's legal now, so it's.
Well, it wasn't then, so I didn't touch it.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, Indian Mounds Regional Park. It is really, really cool. You can sense the history as you're kind of walking around there, just kind of looking at those mounds and being right next to them as part of the kind of panoramic with the view of downtown and the rivers is just really cool. So, and that's in Dayton's Bluff.
Super cool. A lot of people probably don't know they can have a cool like park and area on that side of the city where they can relax and chill out.
There's tons of stuff to do. There's a pavilion. There's the huge like updated cool kids play area there, and it's really cool. And I'm glad that they at least saved 5 or 6 of these mounds, and the 2 prominent ones are great.
So how do we get the name Dayton's Bluff then?
Oh, funny you should mention. There's a man.
Yep.
Named Lyman.
Lyman.
Lyman. Yep. Last name Dayton.
Yep. What did
arrived
he do?
here again? He was a white dude from New England.
Go figure.
We're finding this is like a common through line.
It's a theme.
It is a theme.
In like the mid 1800s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They would come here.
This was the frontier. This
rich,
was where it was
old, not always old, but these rich white men.
They look old, but they were probably like 30.
They were probably, they were not, they were on death's door by then.
This dude looks
lifespan.
Bonkers. This guy's head shape and haircut.
So this man was 6 foot tall, 300 pounds.
Looks like a Teletubby.
He made his money, I believe, in the railroad, or, they all made their money either in the railroad or, right.
Drug trafficking.
But he got here in the mid 1800s.
Do you think the railroad industry? I'm sorry.
No.
Do you think the railroad industry was the way that people talked about how they actually made money when they were in like the opium trade?
Like
back
a
then.
front?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Like a drug front.
Sure.
Because the railroad industry, they can traffic the opium cross country. And opium was big at that point in time. I think about like Deadwood and like the 17 and 1800s and the frontier and like when the immigrant of the day to hate were Chinese people.
Yep.
And bringing opium in like and effectively pushing that on a lot of people and them like they did to crack in the black communities in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot
It would
of
make
parallels
sense.
here.
Right.
So-
For sure.
He was in the railroad industry. That's all I'm saying.
Casey's putting finger quotes up because he's
Railroad.
probably right. I mean, sure, there was railroading that was made.
He railroaded.
Yeah, he railroaded.
Okay.
So anyway, within 1 year of him getting here, he had purchased over 5,000 acres of land
That's
east of downtown.
a lot.
He was a real estate dude after I believe he was a
That's
railroad
like the
dude.
whole east side.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it's named after him because of that.
Okay.
Now, I did a deep dive on this dude. Like, pull up his picture right there. You see that?
Yeah, I'll show it.
Look at this man. Okay.
He's
I found a bunch of interesting things.
He's wearing like a
Look at this man.
leopard ascot with a vest.
Listen to this. This man collected his own urine in jars, kept him in his basement, let it ferment, and he would drink it later. He also had 8 toes on each foot. He was also a twin in utero
So those
who
are his
cannibalized.
those are his brother's toes.
Yeah. Okay. None of that's true. What I just said.
I was gonna say, what a
I
sick,
made it up.
What a sick bastard. That was by far the most interesting thing you
Yes.
said about a guy.
Because I looked
Yeah.
him up because his picture is
And he was just a normal
insane.
dude.
I couldn't find anything on that dude.
right.
I was hoping the skeletons in his closet were
We're
voluminous.
amazing. No, they're not.
But I couldn't find anything at all, good or bad, about this dude, other than the fact that he was a rich dude from New England who came here and made a bunch of money, probably off exploiting, certain populations. But
did you know 3M started in Dayton's Bluff?
I did. Did you
know-
also know Whirlpool started in Dayton's Bluff?
I didn't.
It did.
Do you know what the 3Ms, without looking,
I didn't even write it down.
what the 3Ms in 3M stand for?
Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing.
Good.
Yes.
That's good. They originally were in Dayton's Bluff.
Yes.
And that's where they originally
Where are they now?
dumped all
I mean,
their
they're still on the
chemicals.
east side.
Yeah, they're in Woodbury. No,
it's still
Maplewood.
Maplewood. Yeah, that's right.
Literally right on the other side of Sunray. So they're like right on the border.
Correct.
Just far enough out of St. Paul to not pay taxes. So our property taxes go through the roof. So thank you, 3M, for that. Thank you, 3M, for the Scotch tape, the double-sided tape, and all the PFASs in the drinking water all over the East Metro.
All we get for it is freaking Scotch tape, bro.
Yeah, that's right. The Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis built houses over on Dayton's Bluff at one point.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you drive up and down that parkway that kind of looks over Indian Mounds Regional Park,
Yep.
you are going to see a lot of those big, old, fancy homes.
Yeah.
They're still there.
Yeah. But it's a cool mix. It's a cool area to live in.
Hams.
Hams did start over there.
Hams started
And
over there.
Its latest, so it sold a couple times, and I think the last surviving brewery on the east side might have been Schlitz or Schmaltz.
Schmidt?
Nope, not Schmidt. Schmidt is on the
Yeah.
is in West 7th.
Yeah, West 7th, yeah.
Schlitz.
Schlitz.
Do you remember Schlitz?
I do.
Did Schlitz ever give you the Schlitz?
It's a dirty sounding word.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever drank Schlitz. I think I'm too young.
What is the bocce ball in the basement of Halftime Rec called? Skeeterbruggen?
Oh, Hammerschlagen.
Okay, my bad. So that's what Schlitz.
That
Schlitz reminds
reminded
me.
you
Drink a Schlitz and play some Hammerschlagen.
Play some Hammerschlagen. Yeah, that sounds right. No, when you lived here when you became of drinking age, where you could like go to the bars and drink. But and we're roughly the same age, although he's older than me.
Yeah,
obviously
better looking.
We didn't have we had some basic ass beer selections. Like Summit was exotic.
You know, I was at the Iron Ranger yesterday. My father-in-law took me out.
Love the Iron Ranger.
Yeah. Had their porchetta, spicy porchetta.
So good, dude.
Beautiful. And it's a big sandwich, dude.
Yeah.
It's like 2 sandwiches. I have a whole.
Do they put
other
giardiniera on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spicy
Love
giardiniera.
it.
And it's like, they say hot, irregular, and I
Yeah.
looked at her and she was like, hot as like Minnesota.
Yeah, it is. I've had
And
it.
but it's like got a little kick to it, enough to make it interesting.
Yeah.
You know? And the bread is great. Like everything about it is
So
great.
good.
But I digress. So they had a bunch of Summit on the menu. And my first thought was, oh, this still is a thing?
Oh,
Like,
because you
it's
don't drink
around?
beer. You're not hip to what's going on.
Well, I am. Not because I drink beer, but because you don't see Summit advertised anywhere anymore.
I see.
It's all like whatever fancy new
offshoots
microbrewery.
of Surly, and
Yeah,
we're
right?
way beyond that even. Right?
Yeah, Summit was like really the first one here that took the microbrewing to like a bigger scale.
Yeah.
But the Iron Ranger had like
They were doing a promo or something.
no, they had like hams and Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
And grain bells.
Love it.
And like all the like dirty old like watery, what I used to think of as crap beers, which are now like in vogue with.
I think they're in
set.
vogue because establishments can sell them for $5 a pint.
Sure.
And that's when you're looking at a pint of a local craft IPA for $9.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I
think that's probably right.
But it was striking to me because I hadn't thought about Summit. I hadn't seen a full assortment and selection of the Summit offerings probably in 15 years.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, great local business. It's still going,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and really put the beer scene here, at least the modern beer scene here, on the map.
Yeah, totally. Because like I said, when we turned 21, it was like you were drinking Coors Light, Bud Light,
Hams.
Miller Light, Hams, PBR.
What was the one that I Busch Light?
Busch
was
Light.
the big one.
Pete's Wicked Ale. Remember that?
I don't.
That was like an exotic craft beer. It sucked. Anyway, Dayton's Bluff.
Yeah.
You want to tie a bow on this? You have anything else to say?
Yeah, if you're looking for an affordable place in the metro to live.
Yeah.
That's
if you're
still
a
pretty
first-time home buyer.
Yeah, centrally located.
Yeah.
And get more bang for your buck.
Yes.
It's don't read Nextdoor or listen to Nextdoor.com or the Facebook neighborhood sites. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in the neighborhood. It's safe. There's crime everywhere.
Yeah.
There was just a shooting by, I think there was a couple shots rang out by McAllister the other day and Matt Groveland. Like, don't let the get off my lawn set scare you away from neighborhoods.
For my client, I told you this, my buyer was worried about crime, or not worried, but, interested.
And you dove into it.
And I dove into it, and I looked at, so I pulled up the last 3 years of reported crime data in the city of St. Paul by neighborhood. There's 17 neighborhoods in St. Paul. Dayton's Bluff was the 7th safest
And lo and behold.
in terms of those metrics.
Yep. So you get a safe neighborhood, you get a great community, you get bang for your buck in terms of price per square footage and overall price. You get killer views, you get access to some of the Phelan restaurant scene,
Yeah.
tongue-in-cheek, ESB, all that stuff.
Yep.
And you're a hop, skip, and a jump from downtown CHS Field, the 7th Street area. Like it's
10
a
minutes
great
from
area.
everywhere.
Yep, 10 minutes from everywhere. Yep.
Shout out Dayton's Bluff.
Yep.
Shout out the Pope.
Shout out to Pope.
Should we do BoomTimes?
BoomTimes.
Welcome to Boom Times, a segment called Boom Times, Boom Times.
I don't have much to talk about for BoomTimes today. I did want to talk about Doors Open Minneapolis. Now,
Oh, yeah, that's coming up this weekend.
Stephanie, when we had Stephanie on as a guest to
Yeah.
talk about Northeast, she talked about briefly Doors Open being her favorite thing coming up.
Judy has been posting about it quite a bit recently.
Okay, interesting.
On the book.
I
think because Coldwell Banker is a sponsor. Possibly.
Yeah, probably. But the coming up of which Stephanie mentioned regarding Doors Open is here.
Yeah.
It's this weekend, so we are recording on May 14th. So it is the 17th and 18th, Saturday and Sunday, where private businesses, public businesses, government centers, many things, the Star Tribune, the light rail warehouse where they house all the trains, they all open their doors. Hence Doors Open Minneapolis. And you can tour them. They have a bunch of cool stuff. You can see kind of how the sausage is made, quote unquote, that we've talked about before with certain things. You can see it in action for what's going on in the city of Minneapolis. My son and I are going to City Hall.
Okay.
We're going to take the light rail to Government Plaza? Is that the stop on the light rail? And we're going to check out City Hall because they're participating in Doors Open, and we're going to check it out.
Yeah. I am having some doors open in Minneapolis on Saturday from 11 to 1 at 5446 Pleasant Avenue, where
Just
people
a
can join
shameless
me
open house
for
plug.
an open house. And
Segue,
I
dude.
will
Nice.
be making sausage. Literally in the kitchen. I'll be grinding up sausages for everyone that comes through.
And he
my
doesn't
open doors.
He doesn't go cheap either. He gets the actual lamb.
It's going to be like
intestine.
Khmer chicks.
But
but
like that's the casing.
yes.
Yeah. He's
So
authentic. This one.
that's my doors open experience.
Casey has an open house.
So I'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little NBA basketball.
A lot of you might just go ahead and pause and stop at this point, but you shouldn't because we have some good insight. And if you watch the NBA playoffs at all, you're going to want to listen. Go ahead.
I am now actively rooting for a Timberwolves New York Knicks Finals.
So am I.
Not only do I think it would be great basketball because the Knicks are playing great basketball, and God, I hate to admit it, Jalen Brunson is
He's that dude, man.
he's an unbelievable player, and he will go down as one of the greats in Knick history. And if he keeps this trajectory up for the next 5 years,
greatest in Knick history?
could go down. Yeah. And clearly the Wolves are playing some great ball right now and have the ability to play even better basketball.
Yeah, they're not playing that well.
I found out Chris Finch is from outside of Reading, Pennsylvania, where I grew up.
No way.
Went to Wilson High School, same place that Kerry Collins went. If you remember him, he was a New York quarterback.
Oh, I remember. My
Penn
buddy
State
BTC calls him KK Kerry Collins
KK
because
Kerry
he,
Collins?
I believe he had a dalliance with racism at one
Well, that can happen in good old Wilson outside of Reading, Pennsylvania. So I think it would be wild. I think it would be an incredible series, and I think the Timberwolves would win, although Brunson makes me nervous, but Ant is a second half player this whole postseason. He's been incredible. And Jalen,
Jaden McDaniels?
thank you. My God. McDaniels has been equally as impressive on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
What really interests me about it is the way that we could get a definitive answer to the who won the trade question. Because you never get a definitive answer. You always get, well, both teams made out this, or it's one thing one year, but looking back 5 years. Two teams, biggest trade of the offseason, much maligned from the Minnesota standpoint in terms of people being like taken off guard by the whole thing to get.
I liked it.
To get the
I talked
trade.
myself into it.
Yeah. And I think many of us looking back at it would say right now wouldn't want it any other way. They're a deeper team. They're a better team. They need everything they got. Randall's been incredible. But to have the opportunity to have one of those teams win the NBA title and be like, see, it worked out in our favor.
It did.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, and that, again, we're a long ways from that. Like, we might record next week.
This is premature.
Yeah, we might record next week, and both teams might be out of it.
Sure.
Well, probably not, but you never know. And
They'd have to play for the next round in 4 days for that to happen. So
Well,
I don't think we're quite there. But
yeah,
I get your point.
yeah. Right. Having the Knicks in the finals would be great for basketball in general, because I know you hate the Knicks and you probably hate their fans.
I hate their fans.
And you hate.
It's been 30 years of irrelevance. I don't need all of New York puffing their chest out like they're they're already pretentious assholes, even more than Philadelphia.
But
and
they
they've
know
been
basketball.
silent for so. I don't think they do know basketball.
You don't think so?
I don't think they know their ass from a hole in the ground. So no, F New York, F Boston. There's no good scenario.
Madison Square Garden. Come on.
Indianapolis plays really good basketball, but it's Indiana. Come on, man. It's like
I love
the
Pacers.
most racist state in the union. So I can't cheer for them.
No.
It's not. Indiana's fine.
Indiana's
not really,
fine.
but it's fine.
Boston
it's not
sports
really.
fans
It's
have
fine.
a
Boston's
checkered history
terrible.
of the worst.
Everywhere is
racist
bad.
fans.
Everywhere is great. I don't like any of them. But the Wolves Knicks is compelling.
I am on board with this. I hope it happens. It probably won't, but I hope it does.
Yep.
And there's definitely the chances increase by the day. I will just say that in the playoffs, we have a recipe of what you would need to get to the finals. Again, I don't know if we will. Oklahoma City's really good. Denver's really good. We still have to beat the Warriors, which I think we'll do. But in the playoffs, this is what you want to have. You want to have a defined that guy. We have that.
Yes.
You want a defined number 2. We now have that with Julius Randle.
I think so.
You want the rest of your rotation to be a little expanded, of course, beyond the starting 5, but you want it to be tight. We have that. We have an 8.
We have an tight,
8-man
deep 8.
Yeah, we have a tight, deep 8, and those are the only 8 that are going to play unless it's a blowout either way.
Yep.
Jaden McDaniels is that dude on defense. He guards the other team's best player. You need that guy.
And he's clutch on offense.
Yeah.
Some of these turnaround jumpers, like little elbow jumpers, or getting to the cup and being able to finish through contact.
Yes. You need
and
a
there's
spark
room
plug
for
off the
improvement.
bench. Yeah.
Because DiVincenzo's shooting 20%.
He sucks right now.
If he's doing a lot of other things, right? I will say.
He works his ass off on D.
If he gets his shot, which he will. There's room for improvement, man.
Yes. And we have Naz Reid off the bench, which is the Vinnie Johnson microwave, right?
I still don't love Rudy, but I'm willing to
I know you
overlook
don't.
it.
And I don't love Rudy, but
defensively he changes
he
changes the ability to attack the basket.
Yes.
It's so hard to watch somebody with hands that big and touch that bad consistently around the rim.
You can't feed him a bounce pass because he'll fumble around and fuck it up.
I don't think Mike Conley has ever missed a wide open trailing 3 when he needs to hit it ever. I mean, he's
clutch.
Great on open shots. So
yes.
It's been a really fun playoffs, and I hope it continues because it would be great for Minnesota. It'd be great for Minnesota basketball culture, which is some of the best in the country.
Personally,
it'd be great for Andrew Shields.
Yeah, who's been a diehard since day one. We could
change our relocation business strategy to marginalized communities and remote Timberwolves fans and get them to move here.
Jump on the bandwagon, guys.
Listen, Dell.
Not Deltron.
I know we don't talk a ton. You're in the middle of hopefully a championship run
season.
Here. When you're done working, you're never done working. You take like 2 weeks off and then you're out scouting in Europe or something. But Dell, we need you to come on the pod. If we win it all, we need you to come on the pod, and we need to talk a full hour of Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
We're bookending this episode with the Pope and a message to Dell. It's just a beautiful thing.
The Pope has co-signed us, so now Dell, it's your turn.
It's incumbent upon you to come on the podcast after we win the championship.
All right, thanks for joining us this week.
See you next time.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you